right. It's the 10th anniversary of that. It's not anniversary. It's just the 10th episode. It's episode number 10 of Killing Crickets. Hi, I'm John Caparulo.
And I'm Brian Shinanigan. Hi.
And we're back at Wise Guys in Las Vegas we're here to do some comedy, to watch some comedy, to talk to some comedians about their doing comedy. It's I'm sure we've probably covered this before. We record these sets on Wednesday nights at Wise Guys. So if you're ever in the area, please come down and check us out. And Tuesday nights, go to Kimmel's. We're there at 9:30. But the Wednesday night show it's essentially an open mic.
It's a booked open mic.
Right, so it's like, because they do Tuesday open mic, but this one's a little bit more, you have to be a little bit more, I guess, experienced on Wednesdays?
Yeah, well, they try to curate it a little more. Okay. You know, this gives them a chance to put some first-time people on that have never been on before, but also, to kind of mix it up so it's not at the same show every week.
It kind of reminds me of when we used to go to the La Jolla Comedy Store, and they had a show. It wasn't open mic, it was called Best to San Diego. So they would just have, sort of their cream of the crop of local people. Anyway, a lot of the comics that we talk to are, a lot of people who are just newer to the comedy world. So so it's like sort of an interesting sort of time in the life of a comedian, especially talking to a grizzled old vet like myself, where I can tell them that they should try to find another line of work. But yeah, so it's an interesting sort of group that we have, and some people that you've never seen before, most likely, who with the people we have on here, we're pretty discriminating as far as we think they're pretty good.
Yeah, we're trying to showcase local talent. We're trying to raise up people that we really think that deserve it.
Yeah, and
the guys that, because we come here pretty much every week. We see these guys grinding week in, week out, getting better,
and we all are. I mean, that's the whole point.
That's the point.
Because you never stop doing it. It doesn't really, and that's part of what I think this show shows to everybody is that it really doesn't change for you as far as no matter how long you've been in stand up, no matter how long you've been doing it, where you've been in it, or what sort of achievements you've gotten in the comedy world. It's you still have to come back to this place, the tough gym from Rocky III, and you've gotta you still gotta go back to the basics, which is going up and working stuff out in front of a crowd, and you're amongst a lineup of comics, and the whole objective is to to try to stand out, but also try to to keep up too. It's a fun sort of picture and a fun world that we're shining the light on.
Yeah, I mean we really are just trying to show the work of comedy.
Yeah,
and it is work, and I think a lot of people take it for granted because they see the clips online and whatever, the crowd work and stuff, and they're like, oh, that guy's he's so funny, all off the cuff, it's always new, and it's like, yeah, you saw that clip. There's a lot of work that went before that guy got to that clip.
And work is, it depends on how you define work. Yeah. I mean, it's not, nobody's back hurts after this, but it's a work that, it takes a sort of commitment and a diligence and a willingness to put yourself out there, because that's the thing that, with anytime you try something new on stage or whatever, or whenever you're starting out, everything's new, and it's trying to get that out there and sort of expose yourself.
Metaphorically speaking.
I should reword that, but because that's why the first part of my career didn't go so well. That's why I kept ending up in jail, because when they said expose myself,
I was like, yeah.
But it really is. And so it's work in that sense where you really are. You do feel it. There's a certain mental and emotional exhaustion, I guess, that you get after just so much. It is work, but it's a different sort of work that you put yourself through to get to that point where, people see you and go, hey, man, that was pretty good, or, you did what that was just off the cuff, or that was just wow, you're just so it's so easy, you're so naturally funny, or whatever. And it's like it does take a lot of commitment, a lot of grind, a lot of work.
Well, and especially like what happens with us when people come up to you and they're like, oh my god, I remember this joke and I think about it every summer, and it's like you always it's just you don't think about you just do it, but you don't
forget about that stuff.
You forget that it like this affects people's lives and all that stuff, and so it's like that work does come back when that person like is like, I think about that joke all the time. Every time I go to this place, I think of that. Every time I see you, it's like, oh, I think of this, and it's like makes me so happy, and it's just like you just don't realize.
It's one of those things that you've just been, grinding out,
you're just doing work,
trying to get from day to day. This is what I do, and it's like, oh yeah, this is art, and it really, it does have a real positive effect on a lot of people, and that's one of the things that it's really cool to hear that when you go, oh, okay, that. I'm doing it for that reason too. Okay, that's fantastic. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's a type of work that nobody really has to do. You just do it because that's what you love doing and what you want to do, and that's why we're here. So please donate.
Please call now. We're trying to fill up the telephone board.
See this number right here? There's no number. I'm just pointing to my ding dong. I'm such an asshole. Anyway, episode 10, Killing Crickets. Let's do some comedy, watch some comedy, talk some comedy. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Stick around.
Yeah, Mormons are funny. We moved to a new house like a year and a half ago, and we didn't realize before we moved in the neighborhood's like 90% Mormon, and we're not. So yeah, we live right the fuck in, man. It's weird. I never had so many people knocking on the fucking door. Fucking get the fuck out of here. I mean, like, Jesus Christ. I can see you're fucking happy. All right, man. I was doing nothing and you're fucking interrupting, all right? So get the hell out of here. I mean, like, I've never been, like, I'm not religious myself. I've never had a problem with religion. Whatever gets you through the day, whatever helps you not be a dick to the rest of us, I think you should continue to do that shit. I really do, but don't fucking knock on my door about that shit. I mean, if I felt like I knew how to get to heaven, I wouldn't fucking tell anybody about that shit. Last thing I want to run into after I die is fucking traffic. God damn, there's a long line up here. Shouldn't have fucking told everybody. But it's,
Cool. Thank you guys for the half-hearted applause. That was nice of you. I get it, though. I do work at a casino on the Strip as security because things don't make sense, right? Yeah. I'm 5'6", 5'7", depending on the shoes I'm wearing. So just imagine me walking up to someone who's drunk and over 6 feet tall, like, "Sir, it's time to go." And he looks at me and he's like, "No." And I have to turn to that pit boss just like, "So he's like a VIP now." Well, one of the things we have to do at the casino, one of the things my job is to not let homeless into the place, They're always trying to come inside like they're people, which is so fucked up, right? Yeah. Don't feel bad for them. They get air conditioning every so often. Some of them perform tonight, But just this morning, I had one. He was like coming up to the doors. I see him coming. I can see he's not wearing shoes. Dead giveaway, right? And I just go up to the door. I'm just like, oh, I'll stop him when he walks in. And he walked up, pulled the door open just enough so his face could fit in. And he just goes, "Bitch ass cracker." And he walked away. Yeah. That was at 7 in the goddamn morning. But at the same time, I was like, I mean, it's a good morning in some way, right? Whatever. I'm so sick of people visiting this town and they don't know the town. people keep telling me, they're like, how hot is it today? And I'm just like, okay, you want to know how hot it is? I just went to the restroom. I saw an old man. He had his pants down to his ankles, bare ass out. And then when I said, sir, can you pull those up? He just turned around and said, it's hot. Yeah, and I just let him continue. And I was like, whatever. He's right. Sometimes I'm up in the hotel tower. I saw this bellman. He's walking away. He's a black dude I know named Ron. And I see this old Asian lady trying to get her stuff in. And I'm just like, hey, do you need some help? She's like, yes, help me if you can. And I get her stuff in the room, and she gives me a $50 tip. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then she goes, thank you. I didn't want to let one of them inside the room. Yeah. And I'm like, that's racist. But then I look down back at that 50, and I'm just like, is there anything else you need? All right, guys, thank you. My name's Josh.
All right. Killing Crickets, Josh Giordano.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. You're very, very funny as always. Tonight, good crowd tonight. Obviously, we were talking about that a little bit. Kind of
Hot crowd.
kind of juiced up a little bit. Yeah, they've had their nitrous.
Yeah.
they're good. Where are you from originally?
I mean, I was here most of my life, but I was born in Hawaii. You know,
Okay.
I like to say, like Obama, right? Kenya. So, but I was born in Hawaii. Was only there a couple of years. Then I went to California. That's why I'm a Disney fan, because I was there for like 3 years, and my mom worked there, so we would go there every week.
Okay.
And then we moved here because there was nothing else, I guess.
Why'd you move around so much?
My parents are both Marines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They were originally they met in Hawaii when they were stationed there. Then we moved to California. My dad got activated for Desert Storm, and then after that we moved out here.
So your parents are both Marines?
Yes.
They're both. Both military is one thing, but both
Yeah.
Marines.
Yes.
I mean, because my understanding is they're the badasses of the
Yes.
of all the whatever how many branches we have now. But
Yeah.
so how do they feel about you doing comedy?
Now, I'll preface that he is also in the service. He's in the Army as well, so
Yeah.
they're still happy
Okay,
he's in.
okay.
He still followed somewhat in the. Are they
Yeah.
unhappy
I
you're not
didn't
a
realize you were
Marine?
in the Army. Right? Okay.
Yeah. I do the Army National Guard thing. I like to say,
You seem like a quiet guy, like a quiet sort of. I don't want to say delicate. But I mean,
But yes, I guess.
I'm not trying to.
He's looked in the mirror.
I'm
He
not
knows
trying
what
to
this
say,
is.
Like anything like as far as like insulting. I'm just saying you're very you just seem like a gentle soul.
Yeah, I would say that's I'm half Asian, so I would say it's the Japanese side of me is just like, oh.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
quiet.
Well, thank
you. And then,
You can say that.
yes. I will not comment, but yes. But
Okay.
no, so with my parents, to get back to that, like my mom, classic Asian mom, anything I do, she's proud. She doesn't care what it is. She's like, love him to death. She promotes me. My dad is the hard one. He's seen me do stand-up once, and he only had notes. He had nothing nice to say.
Oh yeah.
Now, is he funny at all? Like, I mean, is that?
He is funny.
Okay.
I definitely get my sarcastic kind of humor from him.
Okay.
My mom did tell me, though, a little while ago that when she met my dad that he wanted to do stand-up, but he was always too scared to do it, which I kind of wonder if that's like one of his things. There's
Could
also
be.
the
Could be,
fact
yeah.
that his dad tried stand-up. My grandfather, he actually tried to tell me the last time I saw him, he was like, I got some cassettes of me doing stand-up in the 70s, and I'm like, I don't want to hear them. He's like, you can have the jokes. I'm like, I'll be fine without them. That's fine.
It would be interesting. I mean,
Right.
I can see why you don't, because it hits too close to home, but it's like, so, okay, you get out of, high school, you go to the military,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so you go into the Army.
Yeah.
And then...
I did IT, though. I just want to bring that up.
Well, wait. I assume so. Something I'm always interested in, I guess, is was there a moment, or was there a point that you decided that you thought I'd really like to do stand-up? Like, was there was it a particular story? Was it a particular just somebody you saw doing whatever, like something like that?
I know it sounds funny, but I always wanted to be a rock star. That was the thing I wanted to do in high school and stuff.
Okay.
I had like my little emo punk band, right? My Fall Out Boy, Blink-182 style band. I tried to do that for years. I went to Afghanistan. Then when I came back, I decided to try to do another band with my brother-in-law and my brother. And then they decided one day that they were like, they were just like, whatever. Like they didn't want to practice.
Were done with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just was like, I'm people say I'm funny. I'm like, I'll try stand up, and I wrote like, some stuff, and I practiced it for 2 weeks. And my wife at the time, she was like, whatever. And then
wait, how did you practice it?
I would practice it with like my family and like her family, and then I went and did it. And the first open mic I did. It was at Boomer's Bar, which I don't think is even there anymore.
I don't think it exists anymore, yeah.
But I did it, and
they usually
I remember...
disappear.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
But I remember when I got that first laugh, like, immediately it hit me like a drug, and I was just like, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this attention. Like, it was that thing, like, performing, music. It's like, I like the attention. And then I kept going for a while, and, my wife was like, at the time, she was like, after a couple months, she said to me, she's like, I always thought your bands weren't working because she's like, I thought maybe you were just lazy, but watching you do stand up, she's like, I realized you do like doing this stuff. It's everyone, it is right what you say, everyone else is lazy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware they're lazy.
She was not on your side.
Yeah, I mean, that is a really it's a methodic approach.
Yeah,
because I still to this day I've never practiced a bit, or I've never tried it. I just, but that's my particular style I come from is just okay, I'll figure it out. Like tonight, I never said I had French fries in my pocket before, but just came up.
That was a great fucking bit.
Sort of like one of those things, but it's like I've always wished that I had more of that ability to methodically approach it. Go, all right, I'm gonna practice this because I think it'll be better. But it's just I'm not too lazy. I'm just too. I need the adrenaline rush, I guess.
Yeah.
From when it's really gonna happen. Like I've written so much of my material like within the 5 minutes before I go on. A lot of times because I'm like that's the time where just the juices start flowing. You're like, all right, this is happening. I better what can I say or whatever. It just starts to fire. But that would also freak me out too to like try to do it in front of my family.
I'll be honest, I'm so jealous of everything you say. I'm just like, I wish I was funny just off the cuff on stage. I feel like I freeze. I'm very well written, that's how I am. I just and I hate to admit it because I feel like in the like community of comics, like we're always like, oh, I just go up and try stuff, and I'm just sitting there in the back of my mind like, I record every set and I listen to them, or if I record it on video, I will watch them and I'll get mad about my hand placement. I'm like, those are things I do because I'm just like, I don't know how to be off the cuff with it. Like I know Brian knows.
They're more methodical like that.
Oh yeah. I'm right. I work.
Like Brian knows. Like one of the jokes I did tonight, I wrote yesterday and I posted it. But it's like I'm not really good at writing. I'm more like the kind of person, something happens and then the more I talk about it to people, that's when I start to get the rhythm. I'm like, okay, this is like kind of a joke, and then I'll start. I know my coworkers love to make fun of me because they're like the third time they hear me tell a story, they're like, it gets funnier each time, and then they're like, so this is a joke now, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's a joke. I'm working on a joke now.
Don't you just love when somebody says, oh, you should make a little skit about that, or that's the worst thing about when people know you're actually a comedian. Like you can't tell just a story anymore. It's like he's doing it again.
They're waiting. They're like,
I mean, it's like because that is the way bits sort of start out. It's like, okay, I tell about something that happened to me, and then you're like, oh, okay, and I would add punchlines to it each time, and then eventually becomes a bit. And it's like, once people know that you're a professional comedian, it's like you can't sneak up on anybody anymore with just telling them a story.
No, I start doing that shit like the grocery store and stuff, throwing a little line out in the line, be like, hey, like it's just, you got to use them somewhere because it's just because all your friends are just like, stop fucking doing a bit.
That's
like,
fucking annoying.
It's like, are you working something right now? We're trying to play Call of Duty. What are you fucking doing?
Right,
like,
that's but I'm just the same way like you're talking about like you wish you could just be off the cuff or whatever. Like I wish I could be more organized and methodical. I wish I worked that way so that because I always felt like I could be better, with that ability to, when I get done, if I could actually go back, like when I record a set, I don't want to watch it. I never want to. I mean, he knows when we record.
I watch everything.
We're done. Once we hit stop on the record, I'm done. Like I don't want to see it again. I don't want to know about it. It's just like I did it. We're done. And I wish I could be more analytical and methodical, but it's impressive to watch somebody who is. And your stuff's really good, man. I've always. We did that Sunday night special.
Yes.
Did you only do it once with us?
Yeah, I've only done it once.
You had a great set. I remember when we did it because it was this last time.
Yeah.
Right? And and I remember you went up after somebody really had a good set too, and that's tough for everybody. To come up after somebody who just killed it. It doesn't matter who you are. It's like you have to be able to convert that energy to something that works for you.
Yeah.
And I just remember whoever went on before you did really well, and I hadn't seen you do stand up, like actually watch like a full set of yours. And I was like, well, I was a little worried about you. What's he gonna do? And you crushed it, man. And I was really impressed. And I'm still impressed. You did a great set tonight, man.
No,
just
thanks.
Really a funny guy, man.
I wish I could say that I was like confident in myself, because I remember that, and even tonight, I'm just watching everyone, and I know I was talking to Brian, and he's like, "Hot crowd." I'm sitting there just like butterflies, like they're gonna hate me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're gonna be like, "No,
buddy.
sir."
Same here. I always think as soon as somebody says, "Oh, we got a great crowd tonight," or it's a packed room, I'm like, "Oh, great! I'm gonna fuck that up." That's how I feel about you. It's just I immediately, I think you're very self-deprecating too, and I think that's how I am. I automatically think, anytime somebody tells me some sort of positive, I'm like, I immediately just think about how am I gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, and, you're just like, oh no.
It's a great way to live, people. It's a great way to. But it yields good comedy, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it pushes you a little harder in stand up, because like I was just telling someone the other day, when I started out, there was a bunch of comics. None of them are around anymore. Mm-hmm. But it was that thing. It's like I remember there was one specific comic. Killed every open mic I saw him do. He would just crush, and I'm like sitting there, I'm struggling, and I'm just like watching him, just jealous, just like, how is this guy just so naturally good? Yeah. And we did a bar show together, and there's like 5 people in the audience. Like, you should not be like judging yourself based on that, right? And I was already like eating shit, so I'm just like whatever. And I just remember we do the show. It's terrible. It did not help that his parents were in the audience.
Oh no! Because they were 2 of the 5.
Yeah, and they were older, and they did not like what we were saying, which was awful. But then afterwards, we're hanging out, and I still remember this guy. He's just like, "I'm done," and I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, you're gonna go home?" He's like, "No, I'm done with stand up." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "This show." He's like, "I've never bombed before," and I'm like, "Well, there's like 5 people. This isn't a bomb." Like, at that point I was like, I've bombed. Like, I was like, and he's like, no, he's like, I can't take that. And I was just like, so confused. But like, now that I'm the only one when I started that's still going, I realized like, it's all those things that all the comedians say. They're like, sometimes it is just like, who's going to give up? Because I still think of that. I'm like, that dude crushed every time I saw him. One time he didn't, and he was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this then.
Yeah, that's odd. I've never heard quite that, but that's, I guess I get, it was only a matter of time. Because eventually you're gonna eat shit. Nobody should ever go up there with that objective. Yeah. But that's just the that's the way it goes. I don't know. Like
that's life.
You know,
ups and downs.
I think maybe like when I first started, I think you know, my first couple times they weren't good, and I felt like it scared me off for a little while. I remember thinking because I was like, man, I thought I would just be good from the start, and it really it's you just kind of have to be willing to accept that, and I think maybe I didn't know that going in because I was only like 19 when I first tried. Right. So yeah, I think that's only a natural part of stand up. I mean, if it was good every time, then
what are you going on?
I mean, it's just the same thing like anything else, like golf or some shit.
Yes.
It's like if it was that easy, then what would be the point?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's why people come to see it, is because you are always running that risk of eating shit, and so when you do well, that's what makes it feel so great. Yeah.
Well, Josh, man, thanks for coming on the podcast, dude. Like like I said, I think you're one of the best in town.
Yeah, man.
You're on a lot of stages in town
really
because of that.
Stuff.
That's my Twitter bio, but no, I'm kidding.
But thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back on again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Follow Josh Giordano on all platforms. I'll have the links below. And other than that, stick around for more Killing Crickets. We'll be right back.
Yeah, man.
Oh, hi, guys. How you guys doing tonight? It's hard to follow a Hitler joke, you know what I'm saying? But I'll try to do it. I'll try. Oh. You guys okay with a little sex stuff? You guys like sex? All right, good. I was worried there's too many married people in here. This would be a rough joke, but oh man, I talk about sex a lot in my act, and my friends are always like, but Brian, like, look at you. I'm like, first of all, fuck you, all right? Like, fat people get after it too, you know what I'm saying? And like, depending on your city, state, and county, there's more people to us than there are you skinnies, all right? That's all I'm saying. So, oh, guys, but I need to share with you a few of my sexual traumas, because my therapist is tired of hearing about them. And I have a lot of them, guys, because I answer a lot of ads online, and I don't like to say no, okay? Like, it's just how I live my life, So I was with this girl once, and stuff's getting good, real good. We're getting all hot, you know what I'm saying? And like, I kind of back up off for the transition to sex, And she opens her legs, looks me in my eyes, and goes, "Meow, crush this puss," and slaps her shit. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Meow, meow, 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 crush this puss, meow." And I'm like, she is just meowing and slapping flaps, you guys. Like this was our first time together. That's an 11, all right? I don't know where we go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, guys, so I'm with the girl another time, we're right in the middle. We're going. It's a good time, you know what I'm saying? And I start to get this smell in my nose. And I'm like, what is that? And I kind of look down, and she is pooing while we are having sex. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was there, okay? I don't care what you guys are imagining, all right? I was there. Now, I'm not saying it was like she was popping out a Tootsie Pop, all right? It was just some little leakage and stuff. And I was like, and she's like, keep going, I'm almost there. I'm like, no. We need to stop, okay? Because this is soaking into the sheets, all right? And this is an expensive mattress. I got this at Costco, and they have a generous return policy at Costco, but not that generous, okay? Maybe if I got it at Walmart, that'd have been different, but still. But so it's like, man, and there was this other time I was with a girl, and it was the same thing. We're getting hot and heavy, I kind of backed up off her to, transition to sex, because I like to assess. And when she opened her legs, she made a noise like a rusty gate. She was like, ah. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Is your pussy haunted? Are we about to have a class 5 vapor appear here? Jesus. I just wasn't ready for paraginal activity. That's all I'm saying, guys. All right, that's all I'm saying. So, oh, man. And then just the other week, I'm with the girl, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, baby, this is so great. I want you to take me to your testicle festival." That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? But then in my head, I was like, that does sound kind of fun, though, because if my testicles were at a festival, I feel like they'd have a little sombrero, maybe a little churro, And if there was a testicle festival, it'd be in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? We'd all go. All the balloons would be just a little deflated so they were wrinkly. You guys know this. But that's my time, you guys. I'm Brian Shinanigan. Thanks for coming in.
Keep it going.
All right, Killing Crickets. Good set.
No, it was a good set, dude. It's like I said, it's a hot
Good
crowd.
crowd,
Hot
yeah.
crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't start my timer. So
Okay,
it's like,
that's
so,
a-
I,
that's
so, I,
always a
so I was
plus,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, all right. I was like, I kept looking over. I'm like, has it started? I'm like, all right, I can tag the shit out of this. I can just keep going.
Yeah.
But moreover,
I noticed you looking over. I didn't realize what the time
it
situation
kept giving me,
was. Though.
but also let me pause. And so if it was such a hot crowd, like a lot of times these 3-minute sets, you got to go burp, 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 and step on your own laugh. So with this, I could just let them roll out a little bit and come back.
So is that just a bit, or did that really happen?
Really happened. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! What kind of people are you hanging around with?
Bro, I've done things that, you know, I've done things I don't think I can take on stage. I'll just say that, dude. Like I said, I'm not, when I say I answer a lot of internet ads and stuff, that's not, you know, when I was a younger man, I was out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like I did stuff. I dated a girl for 3 years that was in the lifestyle. You know, I did the swinger thing. I did all that
Really?
stuff. Yeah. No, I said I've done things. I've done the dominatrix thing. I've done the, you know, all that stuff. Like I've just done all that shit.
You never struck me as a dominatrix.
Well, I'm better to be the dom than the sub.
Man.
I'm too silly to be a sub. I'm like, no, you're not gonna hit me. Like, you know, like,
and that's the thing is you're so jovial and really clean on stage, you know, like, because that's always been the thing for me, is like when I watch you on stage, I'm just like, I wish he'd just get pissed off, you know, like I wish just start cussing and just fucking yelling up there. But it, you know, you're just such a likable, friendly presence up there that you wouldn't think of any sort of like I guess like dirty shit like you're talking about.
yeah.
But
Well, and that's why I think it hits harder.
Oh yeah,
because especially nobody ever
I
expects
think
the
the
fat
audience
guy.
has to adjust to that.
And nobody expects the fat guy to be talking so much about sex stuff.
No,
because
no.
everybody just assumes that the fat guy he's not fucking. It's just the fat guy's not out there.
You know,
like.
when they assume that about me, they're right though. So trust me. But yeah, that's. But yeah, you had a great. Is it? So was some, which part was new though that you were working on? Or was it?
It was, so the poo tag, like the Tootsie Roll thing, I added that part to it because I did that same part in my Kimmel set last night.
Okay.
But I didn't do the Testicle Festival because I kind of retooled that a little bit, so that was good.
Testicle Festival.
Yeah,
that went well.
So I'm just because I think that's really, because I had a different set I was going to do about my dad today, but then this was such a hot crowd, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get this on tape. This good stuff that we were doing, but I wanted to get it in because like I was just like, this was such a good crowd, and I felt like I just would get real good reactions from this joke, and it's really one that, like, yesterday was the first time I did it at Kimmel's, and we've been there months.
Yeah, I didn't see you. I was stuck in
but
traffic.
But I mean, the whole set I did except for the Shinanigan song yesterday was new. I'd never done it on stage, and it was nice to have that.
Yeah.
And so like I was coming in today, I'm like, all right. Because I rewrote, like last Friday, I rewrote so many, even my main jokes, I rewrote a bunch of the tags for them.
Yeah.
Like I was like...
that comes back to the idea of very, very methodical, very organized.
Yeah, because, dude, I got to go listen to the tapes and I see what works. Especially with us at Kimmel's, man, you get a real assessment if that joke works or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you do it 2 or 3 times and it dies every time.
Yeah, it's got to be. You really got to have it prepped before you go to a place like that, because it's more of a tourist crowd. It's higher ceilings. It's not going to be the same as a low ceiling club like this one. It's just different. But it's good that you good that you have.
But even then, like, because I've only been working the poo part of it in because like that's a lot for people to handle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot because everybody goes, oh, and I'm like, I was there. Like, how do you think I felt?
That was good. Like, that was very good. Yeah. That's a perfect way to diffuse that situation, because they're naturally gonna get groany and cringy over that.
And I love I love a groaner. I love it because I love because it's just the audience is like. They're laughing, but they're like, oh god! But then you can bring them back because a groan is just so much easier. I feel like to tag on if you do it right. Yeah. Because you can break that tension and bring them back so much harder. Yeah. So it was like, it was nice, and it was nice to get, like, I feel like that joke is polished and kind of like at the end where it needs to be, you know.
You did well, yeah.
And it was just literally because I rewrote those 2 or 3 little tags over the weekend.
Big difference, it really does. It makes a big difference, and getting to run it in front of what obviously was a good crowd. It's just great to be able to do that, so that you kind of just get it worked out once, and then you don't lose your confidence in it, and you just are able to like
And
yeah, that's how it's supposed to go, you know.
No, and I had the timing,
with
and
it
I
somewhere
had the
else.
beats and the spaces that even last night I didn't have. Being able to do it 2 days in a row like this, and today being able to be like in a more of a crunch time.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like I could spread that out in my other set and just cut it out because I have a longer thing. But like in this, I was like, no, I'm gonna leave this beat here. I'm gonna do this, and like all the beats hit. I let the crowd laugh. I didn't step on my own, stuff. So no, I was just glad to have that on some film. I wish we had that crowd every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really need to get together again next Wednesday.
Yes.
All
We'll
right.
send them all free invites.
Oh,
But no,
cool,
like I said,
man.
I was happy with it, and
I'm happy with it too. I think you did well.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I'm going for. I'll take that over.
I knew that.
Well,
was
that
your
was
goal.
shitty.
I knew all right. Anyway, I think I got to go on stage.
Yep. So we'll be right back with more Killing Cricket. Stick with us.
Did you guys notice it's hot? It is a fucking bitch, though, isn't it? It's I mean, it really I went to get the mail. Like, I opened the door. I'm like, it's probably nothing I need. I'm not fucking going out there, man. Because the worst part is I did I remember I had to. It was after I took out the trash. Was it Sunday? Our front door faces west, so like that. Fuck. I grabbed the door handle to get back in the house. I was like, remember the guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he grabbed the medallion? It was like, So if anybody knows where the map room is, I got the. But yeah, man, it is. It's Vegas. I've lived here for 5 years. Vegas weather is it's different. I mean, it's really hot, obviously, for like 11 months a year, and that other month is called winter, I guess. But we like the wind too. The wind is nasty. Like it was starting to pick up when I was out there. Like we live up toward the mountains too. Like it gets really fucking nasty windy. Or you ever drive down the highway, you get to see those fucking cyclones. That's fucking creepy as shit. It's fucking just. You're like, it looks like fucking Taz is gonna come out of it. Like blah blah. But we've lived here for about. Well, yeah, this is my second summer that we're all most of you guys are locals. A lot of you are, okay. Because I didn't realize this was like a thing that would happen more than once. Because this is my second grasshopper summer. What the fuck is that shit? Like I remember 2019 was the first one because we moved here in 2018. 2019, I remember we got fucking inundated with grasshoppers. And what bothered me the most is nobody else seemed to have a problem with it. So I remember the first time I saw them, I went out after a show one night. I come out like they're flying around all the lights outside the casino. They're like fucking pixies. Like. I said to one of the guys, I'm like, what are those? He's like, oh, they're grasshoppers. I'm like, oh. We don't have any fucking grass. Like, does that make any sense to you? Like, oh yeah, they're grasshoppers. Yeah, they're mermaids. Like, does that sound right enough? Like, did you not expect a fucking follow-up question to that shit? The explanation I got back then, they said, well, we got grasshoppers because it's more humid than usual. And it's one of those things somebody will tell you, you're like, oh, okay, and then they walk away, you're like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, every time I leave the shower on too long, here come the fucking grasshoppers. Yeah. Toilet backs up, we got snakes, it all adds up. Thank you. It's me, my wife, my daughter, we moved here in 2018. My daughter, she's 8 now. She just went to her first gymnastics class. She was all excited about going to it, and I'm excited for her, but then there's part of me that's like, I kind of hope she hates it. It's like, yeah, fuck, I don't want to be hanging around in fucking gyms and shit. I don't want to be around a bunch of people fucking exercising, and I gotta start feeling bad about the fries in my pocket. That fucking sucks. But because she's really excited to do it, because she wants to, learn how to cartwheel and flip and all that shit. Cool. The only thing I remember my wife got pissed at me. My wife gets pissed at me a lot. I didn't have a lot of practice before I got married, like, being around women. Like I figure out things like the hard way. Like I figured out like I still don't know what the best thing to say when my wife says to me, when she says, I think I'm starting my period. I still don't know how to respond to that. Like I know what I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say, yeah, I can tell. That gets me punched in the mouth, is what I guess, and I don't say that shit, but but yeah, like she gets pissed at me for stupid shit sometimes. Because but speaking of gymnastics, I was watching. You ever watch Real Sports with Brian Gumbel? You know how like on that shit, like they always seem to have like two like regular sports stories, like they feature like an NFL player, some other controversy, and then there's always that one story, that fucking feel bad about yourself story. It's like somebody who can't fucking walk, but they jog. Fuck, man. And, but like they were done. I remember they did a feature story one time. Me and my wife were watching it. They were doing a feature story about this girl. She was a high school girl, but she had like won all these medals in gymnastics. She was like a gymnastics champion, and she was born with no fucking legs. And she right. She had like trophies all over her room and shit. And my wife was like, I mean, she was getting choked up. She's like, that's awesome. Like, good for her. She's like, can't believe that, being born with no legs and she's a gymnastics champion. I'm like, well. I'm like, you know what the biggest reason that I've never been able to do a backflip is? Fucking legs. Yeah, I mean, really. If I didn't have to get these fuckers over my head, I'd be just fine. But, it's like. She's like, I hate you so much. And I'm like, I can tell. Yeah, I am. All right, yeah. So.
You did comedy.
I did some stand-up. Yeah. It's, it was one of those sets that was a pleasant surprise, I guess, for me. Because I was really worried. It was one of those nights I drive down here and I'm like, fuck am I gonna do? Why am I driving down here? Because I have nothing to say.
No, I could tell you were in your head when you came in.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about, and and it just, usually I just need one or two things to send me in the right direction, and that's so I obviously like. The weather star. I mean, the guy who was on before me was what's his name? Was a Mormon. Yeah. Anyway, he was talking about Mormon stuff. So, gave me a chance to lead in with a few Mormon hitters to start off. But then, so thank you, Mormons. But the stuff about the hot weather and I didn't think I'd talked about the grasshoppers, because that really is a thing for me. Like I remember doing. I wrote the bit about the grasshopper thing back in 2019 when it happened, but when it happened again this year, I'm like, really?
Dude, I still haven't believe you haven't caught up on. They're called, the genus and species is Mormon crickets.
Really?
That is what they are literally called.
I had no idea. I really.
And I'm like, dude, that fits so perfect into your bits because they're Mormon fucking crickets.
But I mean, they're so. I remember. I think I was writing a. I think maybe it was a script for my comic book, or I mean, it was one of my comic books, or it was a script for the animated project for Cartoon Comic. And I mean, you know what it was? It was the first issue, because the first issue we had a spider infestation in the house. And I remember thinking for that one, and I wrote that one before 2019 ever happened. I know that. And I remember thinking, wouldn't it be funny to have a grasshopper infestation? Because it's just a stupid. That's an insect that you don't just get a lot of. Nobody's house is going to be overrun by fucking grasshoppers. And when we actually had that happen here, or seem to have it every few years now, it's insanity, because it really was a joke in itself that I wrote, just thinking how wacky that is. Like, you just don't think like like I'm gonna have a grasshopper problem, like ants or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you have fucking grasshoppers.
And you manifested a biblical plague.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's what it's like. It's like instead of the frogs, it's fucking grasshoppers. But it's weird.
When I just yesterday I was walking to my car to go to the show, they part like the Red Sea.
They'll pelt you.
One hit me in my mouth.
Yeah.
In my mouth. I was like,
there's just dead ones all over garage and shit like that.
Oh.
They're really a lot of fucking grasshoppers.
And I thought, maybe a few weeks or two. No, we're on a month of thick ass grasshoppers.
It's been more. I think it's been like 2 months. It's been for a while this summer. We've had it around. But yeah, so I the grasshopper thing, and then I did, and then my daughter Madden, she did go to.
Was that all fresh?
The gymnastics thing, of course. Like it was her first day.
But I mean, I was like, just me sitting in the back watching, dude. The way, because the Mormon stuff is that's in your main act, you know. It's like you did that, but then just the way you weave through the set, and I'm like, oh, here you go. I watched I could see your mind working,
and that's where a good crowd really helps.
That's where a good crowd really helps,
because it allows me to sort of sit in it and go, all right, which way do I want to go now?
No, that was really it. I saw you stew and kind of gather your thoughts for a second, and then it was where's he gonna go now?
They give you time,
and
because the laughs are long, and you just have a moment to sort of sit in it and wrap it around you, man. It's the best thing in the world, really. And we were talking about it earlier, where there are moments in there, because when I'm able to sort of relax and slow down, I've never talked about French fries in my pocket before. I've never.
No, that was
just
a great
sort of
fucking
little
line.
moments of where you're just like, well, I can just come up with something here because I need a punchline here in order to keep the story moving. Because really, the only thing I knew I was going to do was I was going to talk about the girl with no legs and the gymnast that was on Real Sports,
which was also a great fucking.
It was. So I'm glad I was able to sort of incorporate that into a funny set, and it all kind of fit together, and it was good.
It was a good set.
I like that one. So
I thought, I expected you to be and I'm there with all these people working out, and I'm eating caramels. I was expecting you to go there. I'm popping caramels. These gymnastics are great. That's where I thought you would go. But no, when you said I had fries in my pocket, I was it was a great visual for that joke, and and just and then because you went with your daughter's gymnastics, and then your wife was angry, that little bit, and I mean even the whirlwind thing with the Taz, we did a little fucking Taz act out at the end.
See, that was.
I was like, dude, I hope he calls that back later. I'd love to get a little fucking Taz call back. It would have been great. But no, dude, that was like I said, for you coming in with, I saw a look on your face. I saw the. I've known you enough at this point, Cap, and seen you do enough sets where I can be like, oh, he's in his fucking head right now. Yeah. You were deep in it.
Yeah, because when I get real short with being, I don't want to fucking when I don't want to talk before my set, which is a lot of times, because a lot of times I'm distracted by the fact that I'm gonna be going on stage, and I'm like, I don't, I want to make it worthwhile, and when I'm doing these sets, I want to do something that is relatively new,
because this is the workshop. You don't need to work on the shit you already got that. It's but I felt like even the Mormon stuff, and when you did the stuff about going out to the box being so hot and touching the handle and all that stuff.
That was because we talked about that last night on the podcast.
And I was like, callback, baby. And I was like, the only one that knew that was, but it worked. It was such a good fucking bit.
Again, I was happy
and we were
to
like,
take that and put
anybody
it
want to see where the map room is? And that was a I said, I feel like that's a keeper fucking, that was a good, that was a good bit that you
turned out
you can build a little more around, you being too hot to do shit around the house and stuff. I feel like there's a lot more to mine from that. So
yeah, it is. And so it was. I guess it was worth the trip down here tonight, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, dude, but these are the nights where you fucking were just like, I don't want to fucking go.
It happens a lot that way in comedy, man.
And then you fucking hit it, and you're like, okay,
yep.
Okay,
I'm glad that was good. I'm glad I did that.
I'm glad I did that, because you're feeling a lot better. And we talked about a lot of Tom Brady, so we did. You're in the Brady mode.
We were talking. Me and Josh were.
We'll have an entire Brady special coming over here. Yes.
Did that get recorded?
Actually, I did. I did actually.
Oh, good, fantastic. But it would be great. Yeah, you could. Then you could keep the part where he pops in and wants to tell
Tom Brady
stories.
One more story.
But yeah, so it was all
was
together.
good.
It was
Yeah.
it worked out.
No,
So,
I,
yeah.
honestly, another good Killing Crickets, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
think we had
Absolutely.
good guests. I really think that we're kind of getting in the pocket on this thing. The interviews are good.
I hope so, because after we're done, I'm gonna walk away.
You're never gonna watch it again.
No, I hope everybody is enjoying this podcast series.
Yeah, it's our
show
showcase. Yeah, our
basically that
showcase
we're doing,
show. Yeah.
and we have Brian mostly to thank for that, because like I said, we're done recording. I just leave it to him,
Yep.
and it's
So everything that looks
he's
good
doing-
or bad, that's all me. Okay,
whatever's bad, you can take it out on me. But
Right,
man, he's
it's-
working hard on
I'm
this,
all the
man.
above, but, you
so
know, hey,
I appreciate.
We're getting
that, man.
better. We're making this more of a production, but it's good. And no, we're getting good feedback. People are liking
Very
the
cool.
show. So
Very
thank
cool.
you everybody who watches, subscribes, all that stuff. We appreciate it week in, week out.
Yeah, we really, I really hope this. I hope this is something that's like entertaining and enlightening for everybody. I really hope that this is what we thought of when we first started talking about it, which is a while actually before we actually started. So I'm glad this thing's finally come to fruition, and
we're just getting in the groove.
Hope you guys
we're just
like
getting
it.
in the
Man.
groove. So
I don't know how many that is, but thanks for joining us on Killing Crickets again. I'm John Caparulo.
I'm Brian Shinanigan. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Peace.